fun is that? I absolutely love that. Again, welcome everyone to this Promptings webinar. My name is Callie Teagarden. I am the Senior Field Advisor here at Promptings. I am coming live to you tonight from our Promptings World headquarters just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm really excited for you to learn about our company. When I got started with this company, it was 2009. I was looking for a simple way to stay in touch with my clients, to be able to send birthday, thank you, and holiday cards. I was sitting down handwriting. It was taking a ton of time, and I was looking for an easy way to connect with clients and prospects. And when I found Promptings, I knew this was the answer to my prayers. What I didn't realize at the time, that Promptings wasn't just going to connect me with my customers, it was going to also connect me with my purpose and put me on a pathway to prosperity. But before I get ahead of myself tonight, I want to bring on our founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Mr. Cody Bateman, so he can share with you all about Promptings and the best way to act on them and why he started this company. So Cody, take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cody Bateman. I'm the founder of the Promptings movement. Appreciate you being with us tonight. I want to share with you a couple of stories. One is how this whole thing started in the first place and what our mission is and what we plan to do to change this world of ours by helping millions of people act on their promptings. We hope that you're one of them. So it all started back in 1989. I accepted a job offer. I just graduated from college and accepted a job offer to work for an ad agency in New York City. So when we accepted that job, we packed up all of our belongings. I was newly married at the time, had a little baby girl. We packed up all of our belongings, put it in a U-Haul truck. We were driving this little car of ours in front of the U-Haul truck. And we went over to my mom and dad's house to say bye to the family. So we said our goodbyes. And I remember coming out in the front of my parents' home, and we got into the car and we put little baby Whitney in her car seat, and Jody got into the passenger side, and I went to get into the car. And as I went to get in, I looked over in a lot adjacent to my parents' home. My older brother, Chris, was moving some vehicles around in this lot. And at that moment, I had what I call a prompting, an intuitive thought that I needed to stop what I was doing, go over to my brother, give him a hug, tell him I love him, and say goodbye. That was the prompting. And we were in a hurry. There were people waiting for us. There was another couple that was moving with us that was driving the U-Haul truck. And we all needed to leave. And so what do you think happened? I ignored the prompting. I remember getting in the car and driving away, and I honked and waved at my brother as we drove off, and he waved back at me. I'll never forget the look on his face. And we drove away, and we drove all the way across the country, moved into our new home in New York City area. And a couple of months went by and everything was going well until one night I got a phone call about 2:00 in the morning. And my mother was on the other end of that line, and she tearfully let me know that my brother Chris had just been killed in an accident. Now, that was devastating news. In fact, I remember when I got that news, the first thing I thought of is that I had this prompting that I needed to say bye to him, and I ignored it. So at that very moment, I made a promise to my brother Chris, to myself and to my brother Chris. I said to him, I said, I'm sorry, brother, that I ignored that prompting. And I promise you that when I have promptings to reach out in kindness to others, I will act. And I'll do all I can to help as many people as I can do the same thing. That was in 1989. Excuse me. That's when this whole thing started. That was the dream that was put into my mind at that moment. And everything I did from that day forward was to figure out how to deliver the promise. I needed to act on my promptings. I needed to help other people act on their promptings. Now, keep in mind, this is a long time ago. This is in 1989. It was even pre-internet days. We didn't even have the internet back then. So the concept and idea that I had was I had to find a way to help people act on their promptings And I knew that for myself, the way for me to express myself, my appreciation, my kindness to others, it was a lot easier for me to write those things. Like if I wrote somebody a message in a card, it was a lot easier for me to express myself in a card than it was verbally. So I figured early on that whatever I did, it was going to have something to do with greeting cards, because a greeting card was a simple way for me to act on a prompting. If I had a prompting to say thank you to somebody, I could quickly send them a card with the words of kindness in them. So I started doing all kinds of things pre-internet days to try to figure out how to do that. You can't even imagine the things that we tried to do, but this thing called the internet came along. And when the internet came along and I saw the possibilities of the internet, the light bulb went on that, man, if there was a way that you could send a real greeting card over the internet. So if I could call up the internet and pick a card and type in a message and click it, and somehow it went over the internet to a printer and the printer would print it and send it for me, man, that would be cool. So we went on a long journey to try to figure out how to do that. We actually pioneered the technology that calls for through the internet for variable print on demand on printers. Nobody had done that before us, and we did that back in 2001 and 2001 and 2. So we finally had created what I call a mechanism. We created a mechanism to help people act on their promptings. And what it was is the mechanism allowed me as a person to go onto the internet, onto the mechanism, and choose a greeting card and be able to type a message into the greeting card and then put in an address for that person and push the send button. And then over the internet, it would go to our printers. We would stuff it, stamp it, and mail it out for you. And we started doing this way back in 2002 was when we first started doing this over the internet. Nobody had done it before. So it was a powerful mechanism. In fact, once we had the mechanism to do this, I wanted to start changing my habits and other people's habits. The habit I wanted to create was I sent cards to people every single day. So one of the habits that I had was is that the first person I thought of, I would send a card to. And I'm going to share a story about this card right here. So I got up one morning and my habit was first person that comes to mind. The first person that came to mind that day was a lady by the name of Pat Chase. She does the music at the church I went to. So I went to my mechanism that we had created. We had about, I don't know, maybe 100 saved greeting cards in there. And this was one of them. And it says beauty on the front. So I picked this card. It says beauty on the front. And inside it said things are beautiful if you love them. So I want you to watch the words that I wrote in this card to Pat Chase, who does the music at the church. So right from my computer over the internet, I typed these words. I said, Pat, just a quick note to let you know I appreciate what you do for us at the church. You make music beautiful, and I'm a better person for it. Your friend, Cody. That's simple. And I clicked the send button and sent it off to her. Now I want to explain to you what happened when she received the card. A couple of weeks went by and I show up at church and she comes up to me and says, Cody, first of all, I want to thank you for this card you sent me. And I want to tell you what happened the day I received it. She says, I got up in the morning and I went into the front room of my house. I was going to pick up the receiver of the telephone, my intent was to call the leader of the church to let him know that I was no longer going to do the music of the church. She said, I don't remember a time when somebody thanked me for the service I provided. The only thing I got were complaints as to why I didn't play this music or that music. She says, and I was really frustrated. And so I was about to quit. She said, but something told me to go get the mail first. Now we know that that's called a prompting. She was prompted to go get the mail first. So she did. She hung up the receiver of the phone, did not make the phone call. She went out to her mailbox. The only piece of mail on a Thursday morning was this card. She opened up the envelope from her mailbox, read this card that you're looking at. She says, Cody, I want you to know that I was at my mailbox and I openly wept, she said. And I want you to know that when I went back in the house, I did not place the phone call. And I'm not going to place the phone call. I will keep doing the music of the church. And I will never, ever, ever forget you for how you made me feel with that card. Thank you very much. That's the power of acting on promptings.
Thank you, Cody, for sharing your story tonight. That is truly the power of acting on promptings. And that is what our company is all about. Because when you act on your promptings and appreciate others, you attract prosperity. As Cody mentioned, promptings are those intuitive thoughts that call on you to take positive actions, and promptings will create genuine human connection and guide you to your personal genius. What are the best way to act on your promptings? Well, it's through heartfelt messages of kindness. And we have our promptings mechanism, also known as send out cards. This is a system designed specifically to help you act on your promptings. And tonight, I have two guests on with me that I am so excited for them to be here to share their stories on acting on their promptings. My first guest is Colleen Delarosa out of Idaho. I've gotten to know Colleen really over the last year. An amazing woman. I love the stories that she's going to share with you tonight. So hello, Colleen. Welcome. Oh, you're still on mute, Colleen.
Okay.
Yeah, there you are. So welcome. I'm so excited for you to share your stories with everyone tonight.
Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate the opportunity to share them too with everybody. So I like to send out large cards. They're 8x11 cards for milestone birthdays. And this card I'm sharing right now is a card I created for a friend that turned 50 years old. And I like to make them fun. Nobody likes getting old, right? So I just found, 50 things older than that person, like if they're born in 73, 50 things that were created or invented before 73, and just add it in front, and write a card, and then write a message. This particular friend is very bubbly, and so I just wanted her to see, there's things older than you, and it's not all that bad getting older. And she went to a birthday party. I had to give this to her in person, and she was floored at how large the card is, but she really appreciated it and enjoyed it. The next card I have, my sister, Connie, turned 70 years old, and we do a lot of things together, and you can tell by all those photos in there. I use send out cards. It's really easy to use the layouts in there to add photos and drop the photo in. And I've got a picture there in the bottom center of 1986 that I added of us, and she just enjoyed this, and she said it's like going down memory lane when she really looks at this card, and she sees it, and it's just something to share with her that I really appreciated the adventures we've had together, and just wanted to share the pictures I had of her and me together. And she said it makes her happy when she sees it. Now this card is pretty special. My mom turned cards. They're 8x11s. And my mother turned 90 years old last year. And a few months before her birthday, my siblings and all of our families went to Oregon Coast with my mom and celebrated her birthday then, so we could all be together during the summer. And I just took the photos that were taken there of all our families and dropped into, once again, using the layout that Send Out Cards has for this particular way of just sharing photos, and drop them in there and add a message. And then on the back of the card, you can see that film strip. Those are pictures from her over the years. She says she sees that photo, she sees this card every day, and she feels so blessed and happy and just grateful that she was able to spend that weekend or that party with us, and also see these photos when she has, she sees them daily above her desk. So it's just a fun way to, share memories with other people at special occasions like this. So that's about all I have today.
I
Callie.
love that. I love that. I love the big card for really special occasions, right? It's those 0 birthdays. I've got one next year. And with altered layouts, just keepsakes, and sending these to people, right? It's not even about the words. It's about that you remembered, that you created a keepsake for them that will last a lifetime. I love those examples.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, they're really easy to do too. Just save photos, drop them in, because they will keep them forever and display them forever.
Right. You even have cards above you that people have sent you, right? We do keep them forever. So Colleen, thank you so much for sharing your stories with us tonight.
Thank you, Callie.
Yep. Our next guest is Marianne Rouse. Marianne and I've known each other for several years now. I don't even know. We met a few years ago. And Marianne, I love this story. She's going to share a story about sending multiple cards to one person and what it does for your relationship. So Marianne, I am going to let you take it from here.
Well, thank you for inviting me to share, and I'm very excited to be sharing something that is actually very personal, to where I opened up my account back in 2011, and I opened it for business purposes, stay in touch with my customers. And it took me about a year or so to have that aha about using it also for those personal reaches. And there was somebody very in particular that I wanted to reach out to. So the cards I'm sharing today, like Callie said, to the same person. Little backstory is, because of circumstances that were out of my control, the last time that I actually got to see my mom was about 20 years ago. And when I had this aha about being able to use this system for personal, in addition to for my business, I started sending all sorts of cards. And as you can see here, sending a postcard, that very first one where it says party time, that one was sent back in April of 2012. So that's my youngest, for his birthday, sending a little postcard saying, "Hi, Grandma," with a little update. And then as the kids grew older over the years, just sending all sorts of photos like, "Woohoo, look at who's learning how to drive." And we do have 3 kids, so there were a lot of different photos over the years, including some not so happy faces on my end, especially when they were driving. And so that one is one that opens up. And then some of the cards that we sent, it was a lot of photos. This particular one is when our son was in the school play. And through these photos, through these cards, it was a way to keep connected with my mom, from being long distance and from not being able to call, not being able to see her in person. So in 11 years, I sent my mom 600 and about 1 card a week, which is super simple. And through sending those cards, after months of sending cards, anything back, I was at my mailbox, and when I opened that, I put the key in there and I opened that little slot, I just froze, because the card that I saw at the very top, I recognized handwriting. And that handwriting was from my mom. If you had been behind me in your car and honking your horn, I probably would not even have heard you honking your horn, because I was in that little bubble. And as I opened that envelope, there was a simple piece of paper in there with the words, "I love you." And that's all she wrote. And I wish that I had kept what she had enclosed in that card, because it was a photograph of all the cards I had been sending her over the years that were on her dresser and taped to her wall, because there was none on her dresser. And since then, we have been able to communicate. And then 37 days ago, I got to be reunited with my mom. So these cards are very powerful, yes, for business, but oh my goodness, for building and strengthening and reconnecting with loved ones. I have to say thank you to Cody for listening to his prompt to connect. And yes, the written word and the images that we get to share create such a powerful impact. So I want to say thank you.
I love that, Marianne. It's your kids hadn't met your mom, and so, but she got to see them grow up through all the cards you sent. And like you, I joined Send Out Cards and Promptings for a business tool to connect with people, to connect with my clients. What I didn't realize is what it was going to do in my personal life, just like you had mentioned, and the relationships it would rekindle and really help us define our purpose and why we are here in life. So I am so happy that you followed that prompting, back 11 years ago and started sending your mom those cards, and that you were finally able to reunite with her less than 2 months ago. So yes, love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much for being on here tonight.
Yeah.
As everyone can see, we have an amazing system here at Promptings for both your business and your personal life. If you have never sent a card on our system, I would love to encourage you to join us. Start with our 10 card challenge. This is 10 cards over 20 days for $20 with stamps included anywhere in the world. This allows you to reach out to 10 people in kindness. And you know what? It's not just 10 lives changed, it's 11, just like you heard from Mary Ann and Colleen tonight. If you've already taken our 10 card challenge, let me tell you about our heartfelt prompting cards. We have monthly subscriptions. We have a $37 a month that gives you 20 heartfelt cards, stamps included anywhere in the world, plus discounts on our gifts. We also have a 90 heartfelt prompting cards that allows you to send 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 heartfelt cards a day. When we're done here, I'm going to send you back to the person that invited you on here. If you've got questions on there, they can help get those answered. We also have our promptings process package. If you've absolutely loved what you've heard tonight, our promptings process package gets you started with all of our best tools. It gives you the very first month of those unlimited heartfelt prompting cards. It gives you 100 system cards with the holidays coming up. That allows you to create one card, send it out to multiple people. It has a virtual assistant included in it that helps you get those cards set up, get all of your contacts in. It gives you our relationship marketing course on how to use this in business. It gives you a coach. It gives you the best discount on our gifts and so much more. Love that package. Again, the best way to get started with us. You may have questions on what is the best option for you. Again, get back with that person who invited you onto this webinar tonight. They can answer your questions and help get you started. And last, I wanted to mention that here at Promptings, we do have an opportunity. You can share promptings with others and get paid to do so. Again, that person who invited you can tell you more. So with all of that, I want to ask you, join us at Promptings, get started today, get back with that who invited you, and please let me be the very first person to welcome you to Promptings. Thanks everyone. It's great having you on tonight. Good night. Bye now.